Tim O'Malley with Tim Prister 2 hours before Notre Dame takes on Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. And if you've read or listened to anything we've said, you know the top of list of things this week that Notre Dame has to be concerned about. The pass rush of Oklahoma State against the Irish, especially in obvious passing situations.
Yeah, the two freshman offensive tackles who every Notre Dame fan that's seen them play loves what they bring in, what the future is with them. But it's a tough assignment. There's no doubt about it. Frankly, Tim, I think a tougher assignment is the two guards, Kristofic and Madden, against their defensive tackles who are pretty stout. But, look, we can go back and forth, and we've gone back and forth on this forever. I think Oklahoma State's offense is going to really struggle with Notre Dame's defense as well.
Yeah, if you're looking for, as much as we talk about Oklahoma State as a top 10 rush defense, they have a #1 sack defense. They're good against the pass. Their offense is pedestrian, and Notre Dame's defense usually really handles pedestrian offenses. When quarterbacks aren't great, they have not beaten the Irish in the last 4 or 5 seasons, and certainly Spencer Sanders does not qualify as great. He's erratic, can be good.
They are not a big play offense. Yeah. They have one pass completion over 50 yards, and it was to Jalen Warren, their running back. So they're not the kind of team that can really push the ball down the field. And I really think that if you pressure Spencer Sanders, which I think Notre Dame has a chance to do, he wants to make plays. I give the kid credit. He's a playmaker. He's a bit of a gunslinger, and he will take off it too and make a play. And I think if Notre Dame's pass rush can get home, which I think there's a good chance of that happening, there's an interception or two to be had here for Notre Dame's defense, which is among the best in the country at taking the football away.
Yeah, and I think really one of the best ways to beat Notre Dame is if you're a downfield passing attack that stresses a secondary without Kyle Hamilton. With Cam Hart, we assume, or we were told, actually I don't assume that, we're told Cam Hart will play with the thigh bruise. If Hart's out, it adds another layer to this. I know they're not a downfield attack, but then you feel, if you're Oklahoma State, you are compelled to stretch the Irish if Cam Hart's not out there. Other than that, I agree with you. I would see the Notre Dame front seven controlling this game just like Oklahoma State's might on the other side.
Yeah, and they don't really stretch the defense per se with Tay Martin, their leading receiver. His long reception is 37 yards. They move him all over. He can make plays. He's a good player. But I've mentioned Jaden Bray, the freshman wide receiver with size. He would be the guy that they would stretch the field with. He's averaging 20 yards per catch. He only has a dozen, but he's been injured and is coming on strong.
And without Kyron Williams, there is clearly going to be some pass protection concerns. I'm sure that has been the focal point, though, for Chris Tyree and Logan Diggs this entire month. I'm looking for Kevin Austin to make a couple plays today because Oklahoma State has kind of made a living of taking tight ends out of the game. They double-teamed Charlie Kolar from Iowa State. I assume you're going to double-team Michael Mayer if you double-team him. Kevin Austin really is the third down weapon right now, but they're going to need somebody else to emerge alongside him.
Kevin Austin, Braden Lindsey, of course. I think Lorenzo Styles could have a big game today, too. You mentioned the pass protection. That is a concern, so you know that they're going to get rid of the football very quickly. I'm sure there are some sacks in Jack Combs' future here coming up this afternoon. But I do like Notre Dame's chances to push the ball down the field. It comes down to two things. Earlier in the weeks ago, I was thinking Oklahoma State. I certainly think Oklahoma State can still win. But number one, Notre Dame, this isn't a blue blood that they're playing today, and I like Notre Dame's chances against a team like that. And number two, I really think that Oklahoma State's offense is going to have a real struggle with Notre Dame's defense, low scoring as we've been predicting, close game, almost undoubtedly to the end.
Do you think offensive coordinator Tommy Rees passes to set up the run? Because I don't know about setting up the run without Chris Tyree against this rush defense.
No, it's a good question. I think that's very true. Tommy Rees is really up against it today. Facing a great defense without their defensive coordinator and using three guys. I still think that there's a dominant assistant coach on the defensive side who will be making most of the calls. But great opportunity for Tommy Rees. He's had a month to prepare. We think he's a pretty creative guy. If they can hold up front, I think there's some yards to be had in the passing game.
My pick to click is the same as Tim Priesters. I have Lorenzo Styles on 1 third down going deep. Tommy Rees likes to challenge sometimes on third down. I think that could be the difference as opposed to just trying to make your way down the field the entire time.
Yeah, and, Logan, I think they're going to feed the ball to Logan Diggs, and Chris Tyree probably starts. I think Tyree becomes more of the pass receiver that Kyron Williams has been. But when it comes to pounding between the tackles and the heavy load, I think it needs to be Logan Diggs today.
It's going to have to be 1A and 1B because this is a tough task without Kyron Williams, who usually carries the load. That is it for us pregame. We'll be back postgame with more Irish Illustrated Instant Analysis.